Alright. Uh-oh. We just got the green screen going on today. What's up, Space Gamers? Astro Nesto here. Sorry for the late start. And sorry for my green screen here. Let me see if I can fix that. It's been a crazy day for me. I actually had to work late, so I just literally got off of work not too long ago. So that's why we're starting out so late. And that's why I'm not fully set up here. I apologize for that. There you go, that's a lot better than my 600i here. Anyway though, yeah, it's hard to explain to your boss that it's Invictus week, and you know, that it's one of the most important days in Star Citizen, or weeks I should say. But yeah, this is my favorite event in the game. I get excited about it every year. And actually, a little strange fact is that I started my channel on Invictus week 2 years ago. So this is the 3rd anniversary of my channel. So big day for me in a lot of reasons. But yeah, Invictus, one of the best events in the verse, and I can't wait to share it with you guys and check it out. Let's get straightened out here. So yeah, it's Anvil Day to start out things, which is one of the great manufacturers to start out Invictus with. Definitely one of the heavy hitters. And they have some new news to talk about, a new ship, from what I understand, so we're going to get into that. I also like to usually explore the conference hall and talk about the ships, because, well, the ships are one of my favorite things in Star Citizen. So I'll give you guys my take on some of the ships today that we see. And I'm debating whether we should do a best or bad buy section. I know it can be a little controversial. And of course, you know, I am not an expert. Any advice that I give you guys today should be taken with a grain of salt. Basically, make your own decisions. I'm just kind of sharing my opinions because that's what we're here for, right? And I hope you'll share your opinions in the chat as well, too. I learn a lot from you guys. So hopefully we can have a good conversation about some of these ships. But yeah, I want to get into Orison. Let's check things out there. Before we get started, though, some quick YouTube stuff that I feel obligated to do because of how YouTube works. But first off, I'll be giving away this Avenger Titan starter ship when we hit 342 subscribers. It's been a real slow year. I thought we'd hit this by now. So please, guys, give the channel a chance. I just dropped a new video on the RSI Scorpius. It's another reason why I'm super tired, because I spent all night last night working on the video. So please check it out. If you like it, please like and subscribe. If you like my content, you like hanging out with me, I'd really appreciate it because we're trying to grow the channel. And as my thanks, I will be giving away a Avenger Titan to a lucky commenter. All you have to do is leave a comment on one of my live streams or videos to be entered in a chance for that. And as you'll see, the Avenger is one of the better starter ships to start out with in the verse. Also, if you're new to Star Citizen, which I imagine some people should be for this event because it's a perfect time to try out Star Citizen for free, please use my referral code. You'll get 5,000 EUCs of credit in the game, which I know is not a lot, but hey, every little bit helps. And then I get some in-game perks as well too, so it's a win-win for everybody. But either way, appreciate you guys and the support. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you guys will check out the channel. Alright, that out of the way, let's talk about some Invictus. So yeah, let's start out things with the trailer for Invictus, which I think is just awesome. Let me know if my sound levels are messed up.
Greatness begins as a mere spark. Forged in conflict. Shaped by unity.
The armistice has been signed. Ready to go, Zeus 1? 4, 3,
Driven by progress. It is strength, grit, triumph. That greatness is in all of us. Standing together. United in purpose.
Alright, wow. Now I'm ready to go out and buy some ships. But that, you know, as usual, Star Citizen does a great job with the marketing and all that stuff, and that was another great video from the team over there. Definitely got me fired up to open up my wallet and buy some ships. But some really cool things I saw here in this video that I wanted to talk about real quick is that, first off, I think this is pretty ambitious, bringing a Javelin
That greatness
into the atmosphere of Orison, because we already know that Orison can be kind of a lag fest. So they must have a lot of confidence in the servers this year to be bringing the Javelin in atmosphere.
is in all.
See this guy here in the audience? If you look at the earlier Invictus videos, he's like one of the guys who's checking out the Invictus ceremony earlier on. So I don't know, I just thought it was neat how CIG usually works that in, where they it seems like they link stuff together. So I wonder if there's any significance. And also, I thought, I could be wrong, but I thought I saw some space whales in the clouds. I don't know, let me know what you guys think, but I think that's awesome if that's what they're saying the future of Orison's going to look like for us. You know, they're really pushing the boundaries of the technology this year and next year. Obviously, Invictus is kind of a stress test to see what the servers can do as well, too. That's, I mean, it's a free flight, get some new players in, hook them on the game, but it also allows them to try out new stuff and to stress test the technology. So I think it's really amazing where this game is going, what the potential is going to look like. I mean, it's taken us a long time to get here, but it looks like it's going to be worth it. So next up, I wanted to talk about real quick is the Dunlop Derby. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it's super cool. Check this out. Alright, landing like a boss. Celebration dance. You know I'm going to be doing that. I mean, I'm probably going to crash into a lot of things, but that looks like a lot of fun. But maybe not tonight, because I'm really tired. But, yeah, I think that's really awesome that they're adding racing into the game, and it looks like you might be able to get a high score for this. I'm going to have to see if this is actually a real thing. Maybe tomorrow on stream. Alright, let's get into the new ship of the show. Right now it's Anvil Day. It's their day to kind of show off what they've got going on. And they dropped a new ship on us, the Legionnaire, which looks a lot like the Chieftain from Elite Dangerous. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's like a Chieftain, right? You know, I love to point out how Star Citizen ships maybe imitate other sci-fi genres and stuff like that, but this does look like a cooler version of the Chieftain, of course. It looks like this is going to be a troop carrier or a dropship, so kind of like what the Prowler does, where it strictly drops just troops. It doesn't look like it actually has enough room to carry any cargo. It's kind of frog-shaped, and it's kind of weird. Like, this is the boarding party bridge, so it looks like it's docking with a larger ship, and, you know, the troops that it's carrying are going to be able to march out into there, but it's kind of like a frog tongue, right? When it's extended like that. But yeah, so it's a drop ship here. Looks like we've got, let's say it says 8 high-performance jump seats, which I think is about as much as a Spartan can hold, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to look that up. So it looks pretty interesting. It looks like it's kind of stepping into the same territory that the Cutlass Steel does as far as being a dropship, which seems to be kind of interesting that they're bringing more dropships into the game. Now, Anvil already has another dropship that we'll talk about when we get to the convention hall, but yeah, I thought this was pretty interesting. It's got a hacking console, so apparently that'll help it breach other ships. Maybe it'll shut down the other ship before it breaches. Get your cockpit going here. I don't know, it's a pretty compelling ship, I think, and the pricing was actually pretty reasonable. I think it's around $100. I'll double check that. $100 or $125, I'm not sure, depending on concierge and all that stuff. But I don't know, what do you guys think about this ship? You know, obviously it's for a gameplay that's not in the game quite yet, so I'm not sure how it's going to play out, but I do think, like, if you've got an org or a bunch of people, maybe you guys want to go looting or doing a lot of bunker missions or stuff like that, this is probably going to be a good ship for that. And I believe they're adding some more missions where you're going to be boarding some other ships as well too, so this looks like it's definitely going to be something to think about, and it's going to be reasonably priced. So if you're looking for LTI tokens as well, this may be another decent one to get. 8 jump seats, 3 shield generators, just size 1s though. Heavy armor though. 2 size 2 remote turrets, so this is definitely for your thrill seekers. Me being more of a hauler and into logistical stuff, you know, the military stuff doesn't grab me that much, but that's what this is there for. Okay, so the pricing is $100, and I guess it's $120 if you're using store credit. So the standalone price, if you're using cash, not too bad. I guess they're going to give you a little bit of a discount, but if you look at this versus the Steel's pricing, like the Cutlass Steel is a lot of money if I recall. It was like a little over $200, I believe. So I don't know, something to definitely look at. We'll definitely talk about some, I just can't help myself. We'll have to talk about some best and bad buys as we get into the show a little bit more. But yeah, let's get into the game. Let's go into Orison and check out the Vision Center and see what Anvil has for us. Just looking at the Anvil page today, I'm pretty excited to see the lineup. There she is. That looks like the Vision Center out there. With the Invictus symbol. This is another special Invictus because it's the first time it's here in Orison. Which I'm kind of glad, because the last 2 shows have been in Microtech, and no offense to Microtech, great city. I just like to mix it up and see different venues. I'm looking to see if they're selling like an Invictus shirt or jacket. Oh, and here's usually where they talk about the new ships. RSI Scorpius, I just dropped that video last night on this exciting ship, which I would imagine is going to be on sale for RSI Day. It'd be kind of cool if it wasn't. But if you get a chance to fly that one, you definitely should. And yes, we've got the Invictus swag. One of my favorite things about Invictus. And we've got an Invictus jacket, so let's pick that up. Alright guys, super excited. First time here. So yeah, today, and well, I guess it's drifted into the 21st now. So today's last day for Anvil, so check that out. And then got Aegis coming up. So it's interesting, we're starting out with, ooh, this guy just scared me. Hello. He's looking at me like, it looked like he was looking at me all like, what are you doing?
To celebrate those who are are about to embark on their journey in the
Alright, they brought back British John Cena,
Sure to congratulate any new recruits.
as I like to call him. I'm so sorry. I did not realize I was muted this entire time. I'm like talking to myself here. Anyway, welcome to Invictus, day 1, Anvil Day, finally here. Sorry about the interruption before. I work as a systems engineer, and we were updating servers, not unlike the ones that run this game, and apparently there's still some people in my department working, so they're paging me, letting me know about it. But I told them, hey, I have an Invictus stream going on, you know, so I got to get back to this game. So I hope I still have a job by tomorrow. I'm sure I will. I'm just kidding. But anyway, let's get into it. Thanks for waiting. Invictus day 1. Let's see what Anvil has for us. And this hall looks a lot like the one over at Microtech for the previous setup. I guess they just bring the same display wherever they're going. Even the stairs up here kind of reminded me of the same one, same conference hall at Microtech. So a little disappointed in that. I mean, it's a different city. I was expecting a different design. But anyway, getting into the Anvil lineup here. Looks like we've got the Carrack as the centerpiece. It's kind of the flagship Anvil ship for sale right now. I guess the Carrack, in my opinion, is like the do-all ship of everything. And we'll get into that. But it looks like it's flanked by the Pisces to the right, which I believe everybody's getting a Pisces for this event. Similar to the one that was used for the Derby race. So that's an awesome ship to fly around in. And we've got the Hawk to the left. I'm sorry, the Arrow. Let's just go in there and check it all out. So where should we start? Let's start with the Pisces here. I'm sure this is the Pisces Expedition version. This is one of my favorite ships in the game. The Pisces is the snub fighter for, or snub ship for the Carrack. Basically, the Carrack has a hangar bay that's specifically designed for this. The snub is kind of like, you know, it kind of reminds me of the runabout ships or shuttles from Star Trek, you know. It's like where your away team goes when they're leaving the main ship. But this is one of the best snubs in the game to me, even best starter ships, if you ask me. It's got nice ample cargo space in here. Perfect for doing box missions. This is my favorite ship for doing box missions, as a matter of fact. And when I really started getting into the game, I think I flew around in this ship for like about a month. I just really love the way that it handles and the space on the inside. I think this is hands down one of the best ships you can get. So yeah, I wanted to check because I was pretty sure it carries some SUs of cargo. It turns out it does carry 4 SUs of cargo back here. But like I was saying, for me, I think it's perfect for those box missions because of the easy access on and off the ship. Another reason why I really love this ship is it's got drop seats in it. It's got 2 drop seats and a pilot seat, so you can carry 3 people comfortably. That doesn't sound like it would be such a big deal, but a lot of ships in Star Citizen only have like 1 seat, especially if they're starter ships. So if you're carrying somebody, the person has to sit in the bed, or if there's no bed, they have to like stand up or whatever. And you know, they're adding more physics in, so if you're not seated, you're going to get you're going to take some health damage when you jump into quantum and stuff like that. So it's very important to have seats. But I'm sure they will in the future, where you're going to have your components that you can service. But this is a nice little ship. I love this ship. And it's only, I think, like $45, so it's really reasonably priced. If you're new to the game, I mean, it's not a perfect ship. I forgot I got my Toby eye tracker on from when I was filming my Scorpius. Toby is really cool. So I've got the head tracker on, and you can see I'm moving my head to the right. And I can move my view here on the right, as well over here to the left. And the reason why I enabled the head tracker is because, like in a Scorpius, you can actually like look behind you. And as you can see, if I look behind me here, I can't really see too much, but anyway. But yeah, this is a nice little ship. And the Expedition version's got a little bit better range and some extra armament to it, so you can actually, you know, make it a decent little light fighter. And the handling on these are great. I mean, if you're into just like playing chill vibes and cruising around the galaxy, I think this is an excellent ship for that, especially if you're in sightseeing. And now that looting's out, I'm going to do some streams on just some looting, which looks like a lot of fun. I think this is one of the ships that I would recommend for that, because you want something small, but also something that's got some space, especially if you want to like carry away some of those chests and open up elsewhere where you're safer. So this can pretty much fit anywhere. It's got a quantum drive, you know, perfect runabout ship if you ask me, especially for the price. Now, of course, you don't have to buy it in-game, but if this was your starter ship, I don't think it's a bad one to start with. But if you were to buy it in-game, I think it's only 406,000 AUECs or credits, so that's not too much money to save up and purchase if you want. But yeah, I could go on about this ship. It's got 2 size 1 laser repeaters, which, you know, isn't that impressive, but, you know, it's a little runabout ship. I mean, what do you expect? I believe it's got a size 1 autocannon and 2 size 1 missile racks. So, I mean, size 1 is the entry level weapon. It's not great, but I mean, it's going to be able to handle. I think you should be able to handle like the entry level bounties with this also. So, yeah, I don't think this is a bad ship at all, especially if you put some work on it. You know, upgrade the quantum, upgrade the shield generator in this. I don't think you can go wrong with the Pisces. Still one of my favorite ships. Before we get into the Carrack, why don't we talk about this ship over here, the Arrow. So the Arrow is the light fighter in the Anvil lineup. It's got exceptional maneuverability. These are really fun to fly. But for a light fighter, it's armed pretty well. It's known for maneuverability. I guess it broke some speed records when it first came out, so that's kind of its thing. You should check out the ad for that one. Very agile light fighter. It's only got a size 1 shield generator though, because it is a light fighter. So for me, not being a great combatant, that's kind of like the drawback for me. But aside from that, this is a lot of fun to fly around. And the weapon loadout's pretty decent. You got 1 size 3 mount, I believe that's on the top. 2 size 2 pew-pews. And a size 3 laser turret with, I think, 4 size 2s on that. And then you've got 2 size 3 missile racks and 2 size 2 missile racks, so it's not too bad. I mean, I think if you want to do some entry-level bounty hunting with this, or some mercenary missions, it's going to be pretty good for that. And, you know, I don't do a lot of PvP, but I don't see why it wouldn't be good for that. Maybe you guys can, you know, educate me on that. But, well, I guess if you were going against other arrows, it would be pretty good. I'm not sure about some of the heavier ships, though. But this is another fun ship to fly around in. If you like to do low flights, this is a nice one to do that in as well, too. And it's an entry-level ship, I believe, $75, so not too bad. Gosh, I mean, Carrack is like the super ship of the game, right? I mean, I could probably go on and on about this ship forever, but it's just a great multi-crew ship. It's originally an exploration ship for the military. I guess it's got a legendary past in lore. But the size of this, I remember when it first came out, I was just like blown away by this game. I was like, wow, they actually have all this in here? Let's go in real quick. You can see it's got this huge ramp up here for the vehicle bay, which is a nice size bay. I mean, it can hold probably a couple tumbrils in here. Definitely an Ursa rover, a rock if you're into doing that. It's also got a pretty good cargo carrying capacity. I believe 456 SUs of cargo. So that means this is going to be a capable hauler. I mean, it's just a little bit below some of the heavy freighters like the Caterpillar and stuff like that. So, I mean, this is like a super ship. Great for roleplay. It's got long range travel capabilities. You've got the hangar bay upstairs for the snub fighter. I mean, the ship is just excellent. The ship is kind of pricey, but I haven't heard too many people complain about it because it's got so much value in it. I mean, it can pretty much do a little bit of everything. It's got a full med bay. I believe, is that the hangar or the med bay? So as medical gameplay comes into play, this is going to be even better for that. I believe there's like tiers of medical bays. I think this is the top tier one. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% up on all of the medical, but basically the way you can use it right now is as a spawn point. So that's just awesome for your crew if you're out doing stuff. It's pretty much it. It's an exploration and science ship, right? So some of the gameplay isn't quite there yet, but it's got, you know, a full mapping suite. So I guess at some points in the future we're going to be able to go out into the galaxy and, you know, find new discoveries and stuff. Map stuff out. It's pretty decently armed as well too. It's got, let's see, I believe 3 turrets that you can man on this guy. Yeah, 3 size 5 turrets, 1 size 5 remote turret for the pilot. I mean, this is just the do-all ship. It does a little bit of everything. And there's 2 bridges too, if I recall. There's one up here just for the captain, which I like. Keep on getting the option to rent the ship. This bridge up here is kind of nice. Here's where you got your exploration suite. The captain can actually stand here and pilot the ship as well too, but of course there's pilot seats below. This is just a great ship, but you don't necessarily have to buy it. You can earn it in game, and there's so many Carrack owners out there, especially if you join an org. I'm sure somebody's gonna have one. Hey Skitch, just saw chat, thanks for joining. Right now we're inside the Anvil Carrack, which is the top tier exploration ship in the game right now. It really didn't have any competition. Well, it still doesn't. The new Mist ship is out. I forgot the name of that one. What is that one called again? I want to say the Expanse, but it's not that one. That'll come to me later. But that ship's not in game yet, so right now Carrack is still kind of the king. This is just a great ship. I don't know anybody who has this ship who's disappointed. Hey, that's the same guy we bumped into in the elevator earlier. And the handling's not too bad, but what I like about this ship though is, I mean, if you feel like you just want to do some cargo running, right now cargo's in a bad place, but when they fix it, you're going to be able to do that. Want to just go rock mining with your org, I think you can get 2 rocks in here if I remember. There's a lot of possibilities, and you could probably take on some high-level bounties if you put some work into this ship and upgrade the turrets and everything. Just a great ship. Can't say enough good stuff about the Carrack. Alright, let's see what else we got going on. Let's see, is this the Gladiator? I mean, I love a lot of these ships, but I am not one of those guys who's a ship encyclopedia. Yeah, this one is the Gladiator, which is a ship I'm not really a big fan of, and I'll tell you guys why. So this one is the civilian version of Anvil's bomber. I'm not too crazy about bombers right now because the gameplay isn't fully in there, and all the bombers seem to be a little bit expensive. But this one is like a fighter bomber, so I guess it's unique in that sense. I'm not too crazy about the way it looks. I don't know why, but I feel like this thing looks like a looks like old science fiction to me for some reason. This one looks like a cross between, like, I don't know, like a World War II ship or something like that, and a spaceship. Looks like something like back in the Flash Gordon days or something like that to me, that people probably envisioned sci-fi ships looking like. That's just my hot take. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'm sure somebody out there is probably like, I love my Gladiator, it's pretty. But yeah, I guess, so one of the notable items about this ship is it's supposed to be a modular ship. There's supposed to be some customizable modules that you can buy for this, but it hasn't been fully implemented in the game yet. But one of those modules is like an extra cargo hold. So keep in mind, this is like supposed to be a civilian version of the ship that they're selling you. You know, I guess it'd be for somebody who's like an enthusiast or something like that. He's like, hey, I want to have a bomber. Or maybe you're in a militia or something like that, but maybe you also want to use this to go get some groceries, so I guess you'd have that cargo bay in there. I don't know. Yeah, you thought the same thing, Skitch? Yeah, I don't know. Or it looks kind of like a seaplane to me. I don't know. But this is not something I want in my hangar. I just don't know why. It just never appealed to me. Anyway, let's see. One thing I did think that was worth mentioning is that I believe the rear turret either has a tractor beam option or it has a tractor beam on it, which isn't implemented yet in the game, but as salvage comes online, that should make this ship a little bit more useful. But I would still, if I'm going to be salvaging, I think I'd rather be in a reclaimer or a vulture. That's me. I don't think I'd want to be doing any sort of salvage stuff in this thing. But yeah, that's my take on it. Not into bombing either, because it's not really a thing yet, right? I mean, maybe you guys can correct me on that, because I'm not the best combatant yet, but you know, we don't have player-owned settlements and stuff like that yet, so I don't know. I would pass on this one. Hard pass for me. No offense to the guy who designed that ship, though. He's obviously got way more skills than me. Alright, let's see what's on the other side here. Alright, the Anvil Terrapin. So, this ship kind of like has a soft spot in my heart. But at the same time, I don't think I'd recommend that anybody buys this ship. And we'll talk about that. I'm a little weirded out here. Is this like an NPC convention here? Like, why are all these guys here? Of all the ships here, they thought, hey, let's gravitate to the slowest ship on the floor, which would be the Terrapin. I like flying around, kind of cruising around and taking a look at the scenery, so when you're doing that sort of stuff, if you're just in a chill mood, then this isn't a bad ship for that, because you're definitely not going to get anywhere quickly in this. It's heavily armored though, so it can take a pounding, that's for sure. And it's basically meant to be a deep space armored scout ship or reconnaissance ship. So again, this is gameplay that's not fully in there yet, but you know, it's got an array of scanning suites. This is the scanning chair right here, which has the cool red light. Because of course, if you're doing scanning, you need to have that infrared light shining on you. I don't know. I think they just did that for dramatic effect. And you got your pilot here. So, very Spartan interior in here. That is one thing I don't really like about the ship, but it's kind of meant to get around, you know, I guess hot zones and stuff like that, in and out. It's not really supposed to have a lot of windows for joyriding or stuff like that. Very purpose built. I guess it would do a lot of search and rescue, that sort of stuff. Not a lot of, well, there's not really any use for this ship in the game right now. But I will say I do have this ship in my collection just because for some reason I like it. It's a little strange. I don't know why. But I don't think I ever fly it. Maybe I should get rid of it now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, it's just, for some reason it's got a soft spot in my heart. I just like the way it looks. And I actually I went to University of Maryland and their mascot is the Terrapins. So I think that was another reason why I was like, I just have to have this ship. It's called the Terrapin. Anyway, it's kind of weird that all the NPCs are back here. I feel like there's a party going on here and I'm not really invited. I don't understand what they're talking about. Alright, so that's the main hall for Anvil. Let's see if we can find one of the side halls. Yeah, so far I like everything about Invictus, but a little disappointed. I would like the conference centers to look a little bit different. F8 Lightning 999 edition. The 999 Squadron. Which is supposed to be I guess they're like the Blue Angels, the crazy group of fighters in the UE Navy, but they do all the cool aerial stuff and all that stuff. I guess it's the best of the best. Anyway, if you are deep into Concierge, you get an executive edition of this ship, which seems really cool, but it's not in the game yet. I feel like it's just like a tease, because you can see it's here, but I don't believe they're going to let us play with this until Squadron 42 comes out, if I remember correctly, which is a shame. I think there was a story that somebody did steal this ship last year, somehow. I don't know how these guys do that cool stuff, though. I seem to always miss out. Anyway, I don't know too much about how well laid out that ship is, but everybody tells me that's supposed to be like the super fighter. You know, best maneuverability, best armament, all that stuff. Although after flying around with the R-size Scorpius, I'm wondering how it stacks up. Alright, moving along. Looks like we got a hawk here. Bounty hunting light fighter of the verse. So this one is actually, looks like it was designed for the civilian market. Which is kind of rare. I think it's probably one of the few Anvil ships that was designed specifically for the civilian market. Like everything else here is, we're getting a civilian version of it. But this one here is one of my favorite ships. It really handles really well. I would say like flying this ship feels very comparable to flying an Arrow. But it is a light fighter, and it definitely has some drawbacks. Back here is the infamous prisoner cell, which is the only second seat here. So if you are carrying a friend, they're going to have to sit in the cell. Let me see if this opens up so you can see how bad the view is here. Yeah, so we're going to enter the prisoner seat. So I had one of these, and anytime I make somebody sit back here, they hate me for it. Because you really can't see anything. Although you do, I guess, have a nice external view here. But as bounty hunting comes into the game, that'll be pretty cool. Let's see, let's talk about what else is special about this ship. It's got great handling, light fighter. It has an EMP on it, electromagnetic pulse, for disabling ship systems, which you're going to need. If you're really proficient with it, you can shut down larger ships that you're hunting down. You can disrupt their systems and then take it out to get your bounty, which you'll probably need because this being a light fighter, it can't take that much of a pounding. So that's probably my big drawback with the Hawk that I don't like about it. But aside from that, everything else is really cool with this ship. It's just, you know, like for low-level bounties, I think it's good. It can handle that. Although for me, I kind of come out pretty banged up with it. And then also, what I don't like is that it has, I'm not sure if they fixed this or not because I haven't flown my Arrow in a while. But there was a bug with the thruster where, like, if the thruster got knocked off and you repaired it, sometimes the thruster wouldn't light back up. So it would look like it's, like, you know, dead or not really working. But, you know, I love the design of this ship. I love the way it handles. I'm not trying to rent it, I'm trying to get in the cockpit here. I just like the way it looks. Like, if you ever look at the commercial for this one, really slick commercial that they did, but I just think it's a really unique design. It doesn't really look like anything else that I can think of. Like, it isn't one of those Star Citizen ships where they rip something off. I like how the cockpit, the seat drops down. I can really imagine myself being like a Boba Fett type in this ship, flying around from city to city, looking for your mark. But the way it sits right now, it's a great ship to fly around and diverse in, and I would say do like your entry level combat missions, bounty hunting missions. I don't know, what do you guys think? And I missed the Hawk. I guess the Hawk is so small I just didn't see it. But yeah, Hawk, I don't think you can go wrong with that one. I think it's priced pretty reasonably. It's just probably not the highest priority on your hangar list. Like, I always recommend if you're going to buy a ship, get one that can make you some money. And that one, you know, it's got some potential, but, you know, I think it's definitely for the kind of day that you're having, or that you're going to do. And I am so tired I got lost. Okay, so we came out of Apex Hall. Actually, I want this whole outfit. Today they're going to debuff the Scorpius. Well, I believe what they're going to do is they're going to tweak the handling a little bit. Like right now, it flies like a dream, but it is a medium fighter, so I think it's supposed to have more of a heavier feel to it. And, well, since we're talking about the Scorpius and and the Hurricane happens to be here, let's talk about the Scorpius and the Hurricane. Because if you ask me, they're like direct competitors of each other. But the Hurricane, the Cane, this was like the medium fighter to get, right? Or one of the ones to get. I mean, definitely fast, maneuverable, but really armed well. Had a nice turret on the back. I believe the turret on the back has 4 size 3 pew-pews. And then the pilot has those 2 big size 3s in the front, right? So altogether it had 6 size 3s. Now enter the Scorpius that has like 8 of them. So does that make this ship obsolete? I don't know. I mean, no offense to anybody who bought a Kane, because I still think it's a cool ship. But, you know, I'm just wondering, when we're talking about the balancing, what are they going to do? Okay, so there's 2 size 4s for the pilot. Okay, so turret has 4 size 3s and 2 size 4s for the pilot. Okay, I'm sorry. I just had it wrong. So instead of size 3s, it's 2 size 4s for the pilot and 4 size 3s for the turret up there. So that gives you still a total of 6 guns though, basically. And the Scorpius has 8. So, you know, my point is, basically I think the Scorpius is armed a little bit better than this one. I mean, they're both pretty good though. But I think the advantage of this one, right, is it's a heavy fighter, so it can take on some of the bigger boys. And I kind of like the way it looks, actually. The few times that I've flown a ship, and actually, Meow, when you took me up in yours, I mean, we were hitting some pretty heavy targets, and I just love the way that it flies. I mean, for a heavy ship, it flies pretty well. Very fast. I mean, it lacks some of the creature comforts that you would want. Like, it's really Spartan on the inside. Let's see if we can get in here. But I mean, hey, it's a fighter. They're all pretty, like, tight like that. Let's see how my Tobii eye tracker is. I have had a Tobii eye tracker for like 6 months, guys, and I just never used it. It was always plugged in. So I've got it on right now. You can see I'm moving around, but I didn't actually calibrate it. So I have to spend some time calibrating it. Right now I'm using the eyeball feature where I just move my eyeball and it's supposed to move around a little bit. So yeah, I think a lot of people prefer the look of the Scorpius because of the whole Star Wars appeal, right? But well, let's talk about it. So they're gonna have to balance it off a little bit because there's got to be a reason to get a Hurricane versus a Scorpius, right? There's got to be a reason to get a Scorpius instead of a Hurricane. I think with the Scorpius, one of the issues is that the wings, like, they can be broken off, so you can lose some guns. Whereas this one probably has slightly more durable wings, so that might be a reason to go with a Hurricane over a Scorpius. Of course, when we get to RSI Day, I'm going to trash the Hurricane and just talk about why you should get a Scorpius. But since it's Anvil Day, let's talk about why you should have a Hurricane. Let's see, apparently the Hurricane is more durable, especially because you lose a gun when losing a wing on the Scorpius. Yeah, okay, so I think we're along the same lines there. This one probably has a more durable hull. And I don't know, pure speculation here, I don't know anything, but I just have a feeling that when they're done balancing off the handling of the Scorpius, these two are going to handle pretty close to each other, or this one might be a little bit faster. But I don't know. I think they got to give this one something, a little bit more love than the Scorpius has in one department or another. The Scorpius is, you know, it's a pretty bad ship. Like, Scorpius, I mean, has like 16 size 2 missiles. Let's see, how much does this one have? This has, what, 4 size 2 missile racks? So, you own a Hurricane. How many missiles is that? I just feel like this is a tough sell right now. I think a lot of people right now are going to go for the Scorpius. It's, you know, the new ship. I guess kind of like how the Ions and the Infernos were. It's the new darling of Star Citizen right now. But Hurricane's still a pretty good ship. Still a pretty good ship, and it's an Anvil Day, so I'm not going to hype up the Scorpius too much. But I would rather have the Scorpius in my hangar. Alright, so it looks like this is the civilian version of the F7cs, was it? I always get these confused. I have to read it again. Alright, F8, sorry. F7cs the Hornet, right? So, the civilian version of the F8, I think this is the one where you get the executive edition if you're in concierge, and you're a big baller. You're like a whale in this game, and you can you have deep pockets. But yeah, can you actually get in it? Let's see. Last time I think this was out here, it was just a complete tease. Oh, you can get in it. Nice. Let's check it out, y'all. What's up, Rand? Welcome to the stream. Do you think there is a panel we can access to check what they have for sale? There is on the website. You can go to the Anvil Day page. In-game, you can buy almost all of these ships, though, so don't feel pressured to spend real-world money. All you really need to do is buy a starter ship, and I believe the cheapest one you can get is like $45, which is the price of a normal game anyway. Actually, it's probably a little bit cheaper than a normal game. And since this game is in development, there are bugs and stuff like that. You know, if that bothers you, then maybe you don't want to spend a lot of money. So a lot of people will just tell you, just buy a starter ship and get into the game, start making in-game money, and you can buy these ships for in-game money. It's just certain ships are going to be more expensive than other ones. And maybe we can talk about whether Star Citizen is pay to win. I don't think it is, but that's a whole other conversation onto itself. But yeah, all these ships like the Hurricane you can buy in game, and you can just Google it. I believe StarCitizens.tools, that's a website I like to go to a lot, will tell you the in-game price. Let's see, you started from an Aurora, and you have a Red Cutlass and a Raft saving up for a C2. Yeah, there you go. So you can get it, and eventually, I believe at some point, like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, like when they release a ship, they don't make it buyable in game right away, I think, because they're trying to like get as many sales as possible, but the Scorpius you're eventually going to be able to buy with in-game currency. I think it's like maybe a month or two after the sale, so don't feel pressured to buy anything. But if you're me and you work a lot of late hours and everything like that, then maybe you might splurge a little bit because you can afford to and you want a little shortcut. Anyway, let's talk about the Valkyrie real quick. Since the Legionnaire came out and it's also in the same space of dropship, the Valkyrie was the only dropship that Anvil had originally. But it's a heavy dropship. It's big. It's a big boy. I kind of like and dislike the ship for a lot of reasons, but one thing I like about it logistically is that it's got kind of like a nice garage back here. And when I was learning how to rock mine, I was taken out by this group of miners, and they were able to put like 4 rocks back here. It was actually like their preferred ship for going rock mining. So I know it wasn't designed for that, and it's a drop ship, but it's nice to know it's got a little versatility. You bought both of those 2 in-game currency. Yeah, no problem. Here to, I don't have all the answers, but I can tell you mistakes I've made or what I've learned from. So, you know, we're all here to help each other out. But yeah, I just want to look up how many SUs. I think this holds about, what is it, 30 SUs, which is not a lot. Yeah, I was right, 30 SUs of cargo, which could be better. So this isn't something that you're going to want to get for cargo hauling. But it is kind of cool because it's a dropship. You have these nice little turrets out here, which the Cutlass Steel has as well too. But I don't recommend anybody buy a Cutlass Steel as much as I love Drake. But we'll talk about that on Drake Day. Anyway, it's got, you know, the minivan drop doors where you can drop the troops out, and obviously you have these nice turrets where you can, that's a good thing to disable it, right? Because you wouldn't want this to go off in the conference hall, where you can shoot down your enemies. It's kind of funny to think that they're selling a civilian version of this, right? Like, what does Civi use this for? I guess militia work or something like that, but anyway, it's got 20 dedicated drop seats somewhere around here. So it's really a troop carrier. Let's go in here. I don't know why I thought the other panel was the door. But yeah, you got your drop seats. You got your turrets here. 2-man turrets with, I believe, size 3 guns. Yeah, it's not a bad ship, but the problem with this one to me is that, you know, again, the dropship gameplay is not there, and this is expensive, so you know, like we don't really have a reason to transport half the server yet to do stuff. But if you're in an org, and like I said, like those rock miners, they were using it for that. You can kind of use it for that sort of stuff. But I will tell you from flying this ship that it does not stop on a dime. But hey, I mean, the really cool thing about Invictus is you can rent all these ships for free and try them all out for yourself. Get your own impression. Alright, now on to some ships that I really know very little about because I haven't spent very much time with these. These are the F7cs, the Hornets, which I don't know if any of you guys remember the original Wing Commander games. This ship is, I believe, an homage to that ship, to one of the ships in that game. But yeah, I mean, for some reason people tell me not to get this ship, and I really haven't spent a lot of time with it, but when I did, I wasn't very successful in it. So I don't think it's the best fighter you can get right now, but they are basically civilian versions of the military one that you can get, and they come in different variants. I believe there's a stealth version, there's a I don't think there's a bomber version of this, right? Am I wrong? Yeah, the Ghost is the stealth. There's the recon version, reconnaissance version, which I don't really see any need to get that one. And the military version, I guess. What's nice about this is it's supposed to have a size 3 gun hardpoint and 2 missile racks. So I guess the size 3 is the one that's on top. I don't know. Anybody who's one of these owners, let me know if you like it. And if you do like it, why you like it. But I do know, like, when I've asked other people, like I was in Subliminal stream earlier today and I was like, would you buy this ship? And he was like, heck no. But I think it does look pretty cool. But if you're going to save up for a ship like this time around, probably want to get a Scorpius, right? Or Hurricane. No offense to Anvil people. But especially because these are not that cheap either. I think they're pretty close in price point to the Scorpius. Moving along, let's see what else they've got. But I will look that up when we're done looking at this. Because I think that is probably the debate of this Invictus, right? Scorpius versus Hurricane. Alright, looks like we got an Anvil Ballista here. It's on the Atlas platform. This is an anti-aircraft vehicle. Definitely designed with one purpose, to shoot those birds out of the sky. I'm not a very big fan of these. I don't know why. It just never really appealed to me that much, even though I think they're really cool. But, you know, it is a ground vehicle. I don't think anybody should spend real-world money on the ground vehicles because they're pretty affordable in-game. And, but this one, I've seen some cool videos where people have, like, shot people down with these that weren't expecting it. It's got 2 size 7 torpedoes on it, which is pretty impressive. I mean, if you got a size 7 torpedo locked onto you, I mean, that's going to be pretty hard to deal with. 8 size 5 missiles, Gatling guns on the side. I mean, it's decked out pretty nicely, but you can buy this one in-game for, I think, 364,000 UECs of credits, which is like, you know, nothing to earn, so. I don't know, I think ground vehicle, definitely buy it in-game. But, I don't know, when I'm on the ground, for some reason I prefer the bikes and tumbrils and stuff like that a little bit more. And there's not a ton of uses for this one yet. You have to be in an org, I think, that's got a purpose for it. But, hey, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool looking. I'm gonna guess that the Spartan is on the other side. Yes, I was right, just like they did for IE. So the Spartan is the school bus of the game. Just kidding. It is the troop transport version. I believe it's got 8 drop seats in here. Both of these are built on the Atlas platform, which basically means they took the same model and just adjusted the back a little bit. But yeah, so same platform. Right now we don't really have a reason to transport a lot of people around, but I believe that's probably going to come down soon, I guess. But these right now are pretty cool to drive. I think I was able to drive it on the ice in Microtech. Oh, looks like somebody left an asset ball here. I love that when I see that. Yeah, you got some gun racks here. It's nice drivable. This was like the LTI token to get during IE. But now that it's not an LTI token, I think I would say just buy this in game. But it is pretty cool. Well, I think the design looks kind of cool. For some reason, it appeals to me more than the ballista. Shit now. Let's see, you're in for 2K already? I'm in for more than that. So you're a chairman member then? You're a concierge. But yeah, I can say honestly I've spent slowly throughout the years though. Like I'll just trickle a little bit here and there, so I kind of feel okay with it. And in the earlier years, when the project was a little bit less certain, you know, there were a little bit more unknowns, I think it was something to feel a little bit more guilty about. But I don't know if you guys saw the latest letter that came out from Chris Roberts and all the great things that they're doing at the company right now and the offices that they're purchasing and stuff like that. It makes me feel a lot better about the future of the game and that they're really building something for the long run, so I'm kind of okay with it. Alright, looks like we're looking at the flying toolbox, the Anvil Crucible. I couldn't really tell from the hologram. But, yeah, so this is like the flying repair shop. Let's see if we can get a better angle. I don't know if you guys are into like logistics and stuff like that, but this is a really interesting ship that I think might actually be worth it. It's got like a hangar garage in the front, which I'm trying to adjust my camera to see. I'm doing a poor job of that. Let's move in a little bit here. Wouldn't be one of my streams if there wasn't like technical issues. But anyway, in there is like a hangar bay, I believe, where ships can land, and there's going to be like a repair arm in there and some drones. And that bridge looks like a saucer section on top. It's supposed to be rotatable, so I believe in the back there's also going to be another landing area in there. So why I say this one's kind of interesting is if ships can land in there, like light fighters and stuff like that, to get repaired, you could probably use this to transport them as well too, I'm thinking. So I think it would have a dual purpose in there. So if you're looking for a cheaper version of, I always forget the carrier that they just released. This might be a good one to look at. And right now I think it's priced at $350, so as we talked about in this chat, I think we all buy ships here. So it might be a deal. Like, I don't know, when we get to Alien Day and we talk about the Bandy Merchant, man, like, I feel pretty fortunate that I bought that in concept, because now that I see that they're going to make it like an Alien 890 jump, it looks like I'm pretty sure the price of that is going to jump up. So anyway, if I'm a betting man, I think the Crucible is only going to get better. Also as well too. Alright, looks like this is the Legionnaire, which is the, let's face it, it's the chieftain from Elite Dangerous. That's just what it is. It'll always be the chieftain to me. It kind of looks like a bullfrog. Anyway, yeah, so this is the new Legionnaire, which is going to be the troop carrier. Unlike the Valkyrie, though, it looks like it can only carry troops, so it's going to be more similar to the Prowler. It looks like a bullfrog. I'm trying to think of why I would get the ship, because I don't really travel with a crew of people. But, you know, I guess like if you're in an org and you're going to do some bunker missions and stuff like that, and I'm pretty sure to make the ship more useful, they're going to add a boarding mission and stuff like that, then it'll probably be pretty cool for that. And if you're looking for a ship that does this role, I think you would choose this one over the Cutlass Steel, right? Hands down. And let's face it, the price is pretty good. Like, would you guys say that this is going to be the LTI token of the show? Oh no, I think the Drake Mule. Sorry, I forgot about the Drake Mule. That's going to be the LTI token of the show. But this is not a bad LTI token either. I think it's like a little over $100. So if somebody got this and they changed their mind, they could upgrade it to something else. And still keep your LTI-ness. Now, whether LTI is worth it or not, that's a whole other debate for a whole other time. But yeah, I was gushing about the Pisces expedition earlier. And they added the race for the Pisces too. I mean, that's just a great ship. Alright, yes, this is the ship I was trying to think about. That is the light carrier. I just forgot the name of it. The Liberator. Why is it called the Liberator? Well, anyway. So Liberator is pretty much the U-Haul of the lineup. If you're not American, that's just basically a moving company in the States. So basically this is designed to move smaller ships. I believe mainly light fighters from place to place. I believe it's got 3 quantum drives, so the range is going to be pretty substantial on this guy. And, you know, it's got some nice quarters on the inside. It's got a dedicated vehicle garage. I like it a lot only because in EVE Online, this is basically what I do. Like in my freighter, people pay me to move their ships from place to place, and I think Star Citizen is going to adopt that model, right? Well, we know they will, because ships will be like physicalized and stuff like that, so I think somebody willing to be the moving man could probably make a decent amount of money. Saying, yeah, I'll move your 85X or your 315P, rich guy, from place to place. Also, I think it could be pretty helpful for orcs, but it's not exciting gameplay. I mean, I'll say that. Well, it is if you're like me and you're just like cruising around the galaxy and seeing different things and stuff like that. So, you know, if you're a hauler, this is probably a ship to look for. I'm not sure if the price is what you want to pay, though. Might be something to earn in game. Alright, I think, does that do it? Did we go through everything? I never read this, but I'm told I really should to basically get all the lore of Invictus. But yeah, let's take a look at all the ships for sale and see if we hit them all. Let's find a good place to sit in some water, because my guy is probably parched. Is this the same coffee shop deal that everybody's going on about? I don't think so. She doesn't seem like she's that engaged. Let's get some water real quick. Alright, because I can't help myself, let's talk about the sales real quick. Somebody over at CIG would probably hate me for doing this section, but I don't know. Since we've all spent more money than we probably would have wanted to, let's talk about what are the best and bad buys of the Anvil Day. So let's start with the Legionnaire real quick, since that is the latest one. What is the price that they're quoting for this guy here? First off, what do you guys think real quick? Is anybody going to buy this? Does it appeal to you? I think it's going to be like really maneuverable. So I mean, it might be a fun ship to fly. But I'm not sure I need a dropship. I'm really struggling with that. Alright, so war bond, if you're bringing new cash and you're in the States, if you're on US dollar, it's $100. If you're using in-store credit, 120. So, I mean, it's not bad. I thought they would debut it with a worse price than that. But, being that I am struggling with the fact that I don't really think we need dropships right now, or dropship gameplay, I'm probably going to pass on it. Unless I need an LTI token. What do you guys think? Alright, let's start with the beginning. We kind of jumped around a little bit, but the Hurricane was the most exciting thing, I think, to talk about on the floor. And I think the Hurricane was only exciting to talk about today because of the news about the Scorpius. Let's see, main feature of this ship is that it's forced docking. Yeah. That's true. Legionnaire, I believe, has a hacking thing, right? So it should be able to hack the ship that you're trying to board. Maybe disable its systems, and then let's go back to the Legionnaire real quick. Using its tongue apparatus in the front, I'm calling it the tongue. This is where it would dock with a collar forcibly, I guess, and the troops would rush on in and do their thing. So now that I'm thinking about it, is this the perfect pirate ship? When you think about it? That seems like exactly what a pirate would want to do. This is probably the ship that's gonna, get a lot of use in Pyro. And probably terrorize haulers like me trying to make it through. Let's see, Skitch is doing math over there, which is good, because I'm not very good at math. Looks like the average player would spend about $100 on this game. That would be an interesting poll to see what the average player does pay. I think the average player goes into it thinking they're just going to spend $45. And I bet if they really start playing it, the average player probably pays somewhere between $500 to $1,000 by the time they're done. That's just me, though. I could be wrong. But I think if you've been, the game's been in development for 10 years, so if you've been around the project and let's say it's only been really playable for the last 3 or 4 years, I think you could easily get suckered into a lot of sales and probably spend, let's say, around $500. But yeah, I would love to see if there's a stat on that. Yes, this ship is kind of weird looking. I'm not sure why they went with this design. It does have a very Aliens 2 kind of look to it, though. I think anytime you see a dropship, though, with Marines, it just conjures up feelings of Aliens 2, though. Let's see, you say, yeah, it's a little things over time. Then you go, oh, I can probably afford this bigger thing this time. And then, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what happened to me, I think. And before you know it, you're concierge. But yeah, this is it's an interesting design. I'm not sure how they're going to justify the thrusters. I guess it's going to move really quickly, yeah. So it'll have like probably VTOL thrusters, which makes the maneuverability pretty cool. It's got these landing feats, which I think is just for dramatic effect, right? It's probably just going to be like, whoosh, and when you hear that land, you're going to be like, oh crap, where's the bathroom? Just kidding. But yeah, I agree. Definitely seems like a pirate squad. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think of it as a pirate ship when I first saw it debut, but now that we're having this conversation, I'm thinking that should be the perfect thing for a pirate to use, right? Because you're going to want to disable like a caterpillar, board it, and then, I guess take over the ship. The only thing is you can't carry cargo back and forth with this stuff. So it's purely just to take over that ship, I guess, maybe to steal the ship. Which is going to be a thing now that we're talking about persistence. What's going to happen when salvage comes out, from my understanding, is like if you abandon a ship or your ship gets disabled somewhere, it's still going to exist out there and somebody will be able to salvage that. So I think it's going to be, yeah, it's pretty compelling. Let's get some tunes on. Hey, Planet Mars, thanks for joining in. Crashed 5 times today in the game. Come on over to Australia. It seems to be pretty stable over there. All right, let's play some music and talk about the sales real quick, and then decide what else we're going to do. Let's go with chill EDM. Let's do a beat. All right, I need some money spending music. All right, let's start it off with the Arrow. It's $75. I think $75 isn't bad, and this is a really fun ship to have. I think if somebody bought an Arrow with real cash, you probably wouldn't feel too bad about it, right? And you can always upgrade it to something else bigger, as you might change your mind. So I think the Arrow is a good buy. Good value there. What do you guys think? Ballista 140. No, and no. I just, yeah, Ballista doesn't really do it for me, but especially at this price point at 140. I think we talked about the price only being like around 300,000 in game, so you can easily earn that in game. Yes, Captain Meow approves of the arrow, people. Alright, so Ballista is a hard pass for me. We can buy that in game. Pisces Expedition at $45. This is the deal of the day. I'm calling it right here. Pisces Expedition. Fun ship to fly. You saw it in the Dunlop Derby. It's a great racing ship. You can use this for all those box missions, like I said earlier. Even has a little bit of cargo capacity, although you're not going to make a lot of money trading with this one. Decent quantum range. You can travel all over Stanton with this guy. This is the buy of the day. Saying it right now. Of course, my advice is purely for entertainment value only. Please don't come after me and sue me. But if you buy this one, you will not be disappointed, and you can always upgrade it to something else. Let's see, Mars. Someone donated 200k to you today. Well, nice. I need friends like that. And we got 2 ships today. Okay. Anyway, Pisces, I think everybody gets a free one for the show. Try it out. 45 bucks. Probably the best $45 you'll spend. Now, if you want to spend a little bit more, I would say go up to the Avenger Titan. And then stop there. Alright, Legendary Pathfinder, the Carrack at $600 American. This is a tough one. I don't think I could recommend anybody spend $600. But if you were going to spend $600, let's face it, the Carrack is the do-all ship. It does it all. It can be a cargo hauler for you. It can haul all your mineable rock stuff. You can use it in battle against the big boys. You can upgrade those turrets. If you got a crew, it's got a med bay, class 1 med bay. If you're in the medical gameplay, and it's got a snub fighter hangar. I mean, this is the ship. It's the meta right now. We'll have to see if Mist can challenge them when they come out, but I don't know. I think, like, let's say you're just going to save up all your money. You're not going to tell your wife what you're spending the money on, and maybe you're going to borrow some money out of your kids' college fund. Carrack is the way to go. Thank you, yeah. Cruising my stopping there at the with the Pisces Expedition. All right, Crucible at 350. This is another tough one. I mean, it's tough because it's in concept, so I think you really have to like this type of gameplay. I do think as it comes closer to being released, this price is going to go up substantially. I would say that this ship might come close to $500. So if you know in your heart that a Crucible is what you want to do, that you want to repair stuff, that maybe you're into salvaging, maybe your mates are going to like salvage ships and have tractor beams and they're going to bring it over to you and you can fix them up and sell it, or maybe you're in a pirate org or something, I don't know. Or maybe you want to use it just to transport little ships like that you're repairing over there. Maybe there's a use for it. I don't think like you'd get the same kind of value that you would out of a Misk Endeavor, but I do think if you got a Crucible right now, let's say you hold on to it for the long game, and you decide maybe the Crucible is not for you. When it goes up in value, you can CCU up that with whatever value it's worth at that time. So it's another strategy to think about. So I'm not saying it's a best buy. I'm not saying I recommend you buy this, but if you did, I think it's okay. All right, let's talk about the Hornets. No. Yeah, no. I'm sorry. Hornets just really don't do it for me. The price point isn't too bad, but I think I would rather spend the money on an arrow or put that 125 towards a Scorpius right now, or a Hurricane. You know, that 180 could probably go towards another fighter right now, especially now that we live in the age of the Scorpius. I think you have to look at every fighter and judge it against the Scorpius and say, is my money better spent on something not a Scorpius right now? And I think that that's a tough sale. Definitely when Orsite Day comes out, if you haven't tried out a Scorpius, try it before you make another purchase. Alright, the Gladiator. We talked about this one. Looks like a World War II sci-fi film. You know what it looks like? I don't know if any of you guys saw Chris Roberts' film. When Chris Roberts was trying to be a Hollywood producer, he came out with the Wing Commander film. The ships in that Wing Commander, I think, look like this. Actually, I'm going to look that up right now because it's bothering me. But, anyway, ship's not appealing style-wise to me. I kind of like, I like to feel good about what I'm climbing into. I have the same theory in life. Like when I buy a car, I want to feel good when I get inside that car, so it's got to be somewhat attractive, and this has just not got that. It's got zero sex appeal. It's also a bomber, so that gameplay's not in there yet. I don't think it brings enough to the table. I think this 165 would be better spent on something else, like maybe put it towards a prospector or something like that. So this is a bad buy for me. Buy it in game. The Hawk at $100. Not a bad price. And unfortunately, you can only buy it through limited sales like IAE or Invictus. So if you're thinking about a Hawk, and I'm thinking about another one, now would be the time to grab it, and you can add it on to something else. My problem with the Hawk, though, it cannot really take much of a pounding. So you got to be good at that EMP gameplay to shut down your enemies with. But it's a good ship to go from point A to point B, not a bad daily driver. Quantum range is a little bit limited though. So, I don't know. I think it's a really cool ship. It's just, to me, it's like, it's that nice ship that you have in your hangar where you're showing off to your friends and you're like, hey, yeah, see that over there? I got a Hawk over there in the corner. But in reality, you're probably flying your Mercury Star Runner around to do your daily business or something like that, This is like the weekend driver. So keep that in mind. It's probably like your luxury one. But anyway, at $100, it's an okay buy. Not a best buy, but an okay buy. All right, question of the day. The debate of the show, probably. Is the Hurricane still worth getting now that the RSI Scorpius is out? The Hurricane is probably the closest competitor to the Scorpius. Do you guys agree with that? So I think the real question is, if you're going to spend this $195 US, that to me is telling me that you think that this is better than a Scorpius. Maybe it is. Maybe it's a little bit more durable. But I think style-wise, you can't beat the Scorpius right now. Everybody wants the cool X-Wing right now. And I'm really not a fan of climbing into this ship. There's like no creature comforts inside this thing. If you're claustrophobic, it's not what you want to be in. But it is fast to fly. It's got a nice feel to it. I definitely recommend renting it. I don't think you feel bad if you had it in your hangar, but I think to me it's probably something you should buy in game. If you're on a limited budget, buy a ship that can make you some money. Go after a starter ship like an Avenger Titan if you're low on funds, or even at Pisces. But if you're going to buy a stretch ship, get something like a Prospector or something like that that's going to make you some money that you can buy all these other ships. That would be my recommendation. Let's see, Skitch says he'd keep his money on the Hurricane until he sees changes to the Scorpius. And not bad. I mean, if we think about what happened to the Ares Ions and Infernos, which are not cheap ships, those are expensive ships, which I will be criticizing when it comes down to Crusader Day. There were a lot of changes to that, and the community wasn't too happy about that. So the Scorpius could fall into that. There is that risk. But I do think when we talk about the Scorpius, and by the way, I just released a Scorpius video, so check that out. Spent all night last night working on it. Let me know what you guys think. The Scorpius does have that cool turret that is, that's not transforming, what do they call it? It retracts and, I don't know, detaches, whatever. So it goes down the side of the back of the ship. So it kind of gives you a little bit more versatility. You can kind of like attack ships from the rear. Although technically you could do that with a Hurricane too, right? Whoever's in the turret can turn around. Alright, Skitch, you're talking me out of the Scorpius right now. Anyway, they're both good ships. Look at them, rent them both in the show, see which one you feel good about. But I do think if you're in the market for a Hurricane, you really have to look at the Scorpius and say, yeah, it's not for me. Or if you're on defense, just wait. Just wait 6 months, these ships are going to be on sale again for IE in December. And we'll probably know more. Scorpius is cool. That's a tough one. Anyway, I'm going to say Hurricane, hold off on it. You could buy it in game. There's also some, we just don't know with the balancing yet on these ships. So you might want to spend your money on something else this show. And it's also day one, so we don't want to like blow all our money on day one, right? We're going to wait till the end of the show. Alright, Legionnaire, 120, we talked about this one. Not too bad. If you're buying it with cash, you can get it for $100. That's the deal. I wouldn't buy it. Just me. I think I'd buy it for an LTI token. But I just think it's got a niche role to drop ship. I personally don't drop a lot, so not for me. Liberator at 575. I can't recommend anybody spend 575 on a ship or a JPEG at this point, because right now it's a JPEG. But if you are into hauling, if you're like me, you're an freighter pilot, this might be the ship for you. And we do know that it's going to get more expensive as it gets closer to being released. So if you have your little heart set on it, maybe you want to save up your pennies for this one. I'm going to say it's an okay buy because of the versatility and I think the long-term potential of this ship. But I'm really hesitant in saying that. Nah, it's not a good buy. Change my mind. 575, I can't recommend you spend that kind of money on a ship. I mean, I might spend that kind of money, but I'm a little crazy. You should probably hold on to it, buy this in game. I just talked myself out of a Liberator. Alright, Spartan at $80. It's a pass. Hard pass. This is fairly cheap in game to buy, and you can take that $80 and put it towards your Scorpius or whatever else in the show. So that's an easy one. Terrapin 220, pass. Now yes, I have a soft spot in my heart for this ship and everything like that, and it's great in a lore perspective, but rent this ship, actually fly it, and tell me if you're going to feel good spending $220 on it. I think you should buy this one in game. Alright, Valkyrie at 375. It's a pass for me. It's a little pricey. I think you can, if you really have your heart set on a Valkyrie, make this a goal in game to work towards. It gives you purpose in the game right now. But yeah, Valkyrie is just okay to me. It's not great. You know, it's not a ship that you're going to use every day. I think that money's better spent, well, me personally, on a Mercury Starwinder. I think that is versatile. If you're going to be a rock miner, you can fit a rock in the back of a Mercury. If you're going to haul some cargo, you can do that with a Mercury. You can even do that stuff with a Cutlass for a lot less money. So you have to be really into this ship. No med bay, anything like that. So 375, I think you can save that and put it somewhere else. I think that's going to wrap it for best and bad buys of the show today. What do you guys think? If you agree, disagree, let me know. I'd love to hear your perspectives. And yeah, pass on all this stuff, you can buy it in game. Although sometimes I buy the pack just out of convenience. Alright, looks like I've been going away so long talking about the sales that I got logged out.